Welcome YouTube and fellow Star Wars collectors. On this episode of Toys Are the Way, we will be taking a look at the vintage collection Haslab Razor Crest. If you're new to the channel and like what you see, be sure to drop a like down below, remember to subscribe, and make sure to ring that bell to stay notified. Upcoming videos will feature similar reviews, diorama builds, and more from the vintage collection, so stay tuned. We have waited months and months and months for this vehicle, and it is finally here at last. Here we have the Star Wars Vintage Collection Haslab Razor Crest. I finally got mine, and I finally got around to opening it, setting up in my display room, and I gotta say, I absolutely love this vehicle. It was well worth the wait. I love the way the shine and detail just pop with the lighting in my collection room, and I just can't get enough of this. I absolutely just spend time staring at this thing, interacting with it. It's a wonderful display piece, but also a really great world building item. It's got awesome compartments that you can use. It's got an interior that you can set up shots in, and just lots of detailing throughout the interior as well. It's just absolutely blown away by this. And I've got to give credit to the Star Wars Hasbro team for delivering this awesome one-of-a-kind vehicle. By now, I'm sure you've gotten your Razor Crest and seen a variety of different reviews and unboxings where collectors give their opinions about this vintage collection item. While I absolutely love this vehicle and plan to discuss it in a little more detail, the main focus of my video is going to be display. I want to share with you how I plan to have this one-of-a-kind item set up in my collection room, but also discuss different ways of displaying this, creating dioramas, and just world building with this awesome new vehicle. So you may have noticed there's a few Jawas lurking around this Razor Crest. Definitely looking for some parts and things that they could steal. I definitely would not trust these guys. But if you haven't noticed, there is somebody missing, the Jawa Elder. Originally when I backed the Razor Crest, I only got one and planned to open the cards. But when I received my Razor Crest, the card I got was extremely mint condition. Like, this is as perfect as it gets to getting a card inside a vehicle box. And I feel kind of bad opening this guy. It's just a perfect card. You know, I plan to open it because they're not part of the regular vintage collection numbering. And I don't know, I was just okay with opening it. I wasn't that attached. But now that it's just so perfect, I feel bad opening this. So at the present moment, I do not have the Jawa Elder, which I do on his accessories. He's kind of cool, but he's also not far off from what we have over there. So I just haven't made a decision, but as it stands right now, I'm definitely not opening this card. It's just too nice. And the same goes for the Grogu card. Mine came in extremely mint. I was pretty lucky, you know. I got both of these really nice, and like I said, I feel bad opening these cards. They're just too nice. The vac metal pram is really cool. So that is tempting, but again, I don't know. For right now, they're staying like this. I'll try to see if I can find some kind of alternative, but these are really nice. And you know, they're beautiful cards, so I'm cool with just keeping them like this for now. And like I said, I have Jawas and I do have Grogu already, so for now this will have to do. So the thing I love about this Razor Crest and just vintage collection vehicles in general is their ability to be functional almost as if they are a playset. So with this Razor Crest we have the door that goes up and functions just like you see in the show. And that allows you to have your Mandalorian figure walk up in there, and it's just interactive, and I really, really appreciate those kind of details. I grew up with the Kenner Millennium Falcon, and I spent tons of time playing in that back compartment and just using it, and just, you know, it was a diorama piece for me. And I think that kind of like functionality really influenced how I like my figures to interact and how I like to create environments for them. And when you have a front door that opens, of course you need a back door that also opens. And that's just awesome. I just love how that works, you know? It allows for a lot of variety. So you can shoot a scene from here, or you can shoot a scene from the back over here and look into the ship. That is just so fun. So I also really enjoy that, there's all these awesome detail pieces. As you've seen, you can take apart the crest and see this awesome engine detail. Take that apart. You can have the Mandalorian just working on his ship, doing repairs, or you can create the scene where the Jawas take the entire thing apart. I just really like that, they thought about incorporating things from the movie that also don't necessarily have to go with like what was seen in the movie, Like I said, the Mandalorian can be doing his own repairs on the ship, and that just makes this thing really fun. It's basically a really interactive playset. I love that, you can take off the top and then look into the ship from an aerial view that allows you to, set up stuff and also take different shots. Just really fun. The weathering on here is stunning. Just, it looks so much better when you have this in hand and just taking a look at this. Man, I've got to show it. There you go. I just have to show that detail. It is really a work of art. Very, very impressive. And like I said, I love the way that the shine just interacts in my collection room with all my lighting. At night, it just looks awesome seeing colors reflect off of this. I also like, that they incorporated this so you can put the carbonite blocks on there and just have those hanging in the ship. Just really nice touches, Awesome attention to detail. And also, like many large vehicles in the vintage collection, you got to be able to put your figure in the cockpit. It's a large ship, someone's got to fly it, and it's really, nice. It is kind of a smart move that they didn't really make the door interactive here, because technically in the show the ship is much larger, so that would go to a whole different room compartment. So I guess it would look a little odd if you could just look straight back into the ship. So it's not something I was disappointed with. And most of the time we never see that door open too often, It's usually just they're sitting in the cockpit having discussions and doing dialogue. And lastly, gotta be a little careful not to knock anyone over, which I did. But you can take this compartment off. In case you're unaware, this is what that compartment looks like, and you can hang these awesome bags that it came with. Pretty cool. So here's just a view into the ship, and just take a look at that. It's just fun that you can get different perspectives and view of the ship. Let's move over here to the cockpit. Awesome detailing there. Just, nice that you have two seats back there. You can put some figures, the Mandalorian commanding the ship, flying it, and just, set up a scene there too. And then we have the weapons locker. So, carefully open. Really awesome that you got all those weapons in there. I know some people were complaining that it's very difficult to put them in there. And yes, it absolutely is. And I know some people also said they would have preferred that to have been sculpted in instead of having to put it ourselves, but I think that's a terrible idea. I like things being interactive, so if that would have just been the case, it would have been a little disappointing. So while it is a pain to remove those, it gives you the option of, giving that rifle to Din. Possibly that's something he used back in the day on a certain mission, you can be creative with that. And yeah, it is very difficult, but if you have some tweezers and a little patience, it's not too bad. So moving on, just look at that engine detail right there. Really, really nice weathering right here too, just a little dirt and grime. Some more of that engine component. The cannons look really nice too. Just the back side of the ship. I put some other random containers in there just to, make it look like the Mandalorian has a little bit more gear and stuff. So let me put this all back together so that we can take another look at it. Actually, one more thing that I forgot to talk about is the fact that you have The carbonite freezing chamber, you know, that's a nice interactive touch as well. And like I said, there's so much detail, and I just love the way that, you know, this thing shines. Got the escape pod there too in the middle. That comes out really easy if you just move this whole panel. You can take that out. Just so much cool weathering and just like nice fine detail on this ship. Some really cool things that we were able to get with this vehicle were the carbonite blocks. Really happy that we got these. They're a nice thing to have, and they work perfectly with the clear stand, as you can see over there. That's elevating that one. That is from Grogu's Pram from the first release, the non-vac metal one. So if you need more stands, I guess you're gonna have to get more Grogu's. Maybe somebody will 3D print those or something. That would be nice, because I would like to have all these floating, but I really don't need that many Grogu's. So it was really nice that we got a soft goods included with the Mandalorian that comes with this Razor Crest. We actually get the Beskar Mando that comes with this crest. It's very similar to the previous release. The paint differences are minor, I can't really tell too much. But it comes with that soft goods cape, which looks a lot better to me actually once you finally get it in hand. I'm pretty impressed with it. And I gotta say, it looks fantastic on this Season 1, Episode 1 Mandalorian. I'm gonna keep it on him because my crest is mainly gonna be displayed with this Mandalorian. While I do really love this version of the Mandalorian, I kind of want to use my imagination and have this vehicle set up in a lot more scenes from maybe Mando's past. You know, he was on a lot of different missions and hunts, so I think it allows you to be very creative, because I know many people were upset when the Razor Crest exploded. I mean, I wasn't very happy about it either, but if you use your imagination and just think about all the things he could have been doing prior to the show, you still have a lot of adventures that he can go on. So that's why I am keeping this cape on this version of the Mandalorian, which I have a few of these, so I can spare him. He's going to be riding this forever. So one thing that I really wish we did have in time for this Mandalorian delivery was a Season 1 Grief Karga. We have Season 2, but we really got to get that Season 1 Grief. He interacts more with the Razor Crest, and I just like the look of Season 1 Grief Karga. It's a little bit more bounty hunter-esque, and I think it would be a great addition to the line, and now that we have the crest, we really need that figure, because we have a lot of figures who interact with the crest, such as two figures not shown here, who are the Mithril, amazing figure, and Queel. We have so many different figures who interact with the crest, and it would just be nice to finally get Season 1 Grief Karga, complete kind of the crew hanging out with the crest, because we have a lot of them, but we definitely need him. Very important. So as you can see, I have my Razor Crest currently displayed in this kind of urban environment diorama. These are some cool walls that I've made before I had to move my collection room. They are made of just, you know, standard XPS foam, and then I've covered them in grout, painted them, weathered them. I definitely should do a video just showing my process on that, because I also need to make some more of them. But as you can see, it's kind of cool. I need to make a flooring that's appropriate with them, but it's a nice way to display and just get some cool photos and shots, different places that the Mandalorian could visit. Yeah, I need to make a wall as seen in the back, but like higher up, so I can, you know, get some more in focus, like from down below perspective shots. But these are just awesome things that you can do with this vehicle. Just make some stuff, set it up, put it in different environments. Because no matter what, this thing is just going to look fantastic with whatever you put next to it. So many awesome figures and just releases from the Mandalorian, and the crest really brings everything together. I'm so happy to have this. So this is the docking bay where I'm going to be displaying my Razor Crest. I instantly knew when the Razor Crest was announced that I'm going to need somewhere really good to have this thing displayed, and I kind of came up with this idea over time that I would just make this nice docking bay. So this is where it lands and it hangs out. And we have some Ugnaughts, one of those droids from the Mandalorian droid pack. We've got some bounty hunters, just carbonite block. Just a bunch of scum and villainy here. Pit droid. More droids, aliens. And I'm gonna expand on this and just get more of these Joy Toy, what do you call these things? Just like platforms to make this a bit more industrial and stuff. But I made this from my styrene sheets, which you may have seen some of my diorama videos. So they're just styrene sheets that are spray painted with gray primer, and I also spray painted this yellow caution strip with the black striping. It's a bit of a stencil work there. And then I just weathered everything to make it look very dirty and industrial. So there's like rust colors on there, dirt colors. There's a couple spots you can kind of see in the back over here where I used a bit of black paint mixed with some really dark brown green mud color just to make it look like an oil spill or something. So there's interesting details like that throughout on the floor. I just wanted it to look like, you know, real mechanic shop. And then the walls are very similar. A lot of rust and runoff. And then I put some greebles and just a shelf and accessories. I want to add on it a little bit more and add some like piping to the walls. Just some more like detailing. But for now, this is how I'm going to have it set up. So let's take a second and put the Razor Crest back in here. And here's my Razor Crest in its own personal docking bay. I have some puck lights on the inside of the Razor Crest that allow that light to come out. Those are just simply these placed in there. You can get these on Amazon, come in a variety of different like colors. There's a remote control that you can put specific colors, but I had the white light in there just to add a little bit more detail. Looks really cool at night, and you can see it pretty well here in the day too. And then we just have some like mercenaries, bounty hunters, all sorts of nonsense going on. Droids, Ugnaughts working on the ship, and just some bounties that the Mandalorian has delivered. And here we have the Mandalorian out of his ship talking business with all this scum and villainy, and I just gotta say that I'm really happy with this display. I'm happy that the crest fits very well in this Calyx shelf, just like most of my other dioramas and stuff that you may have seen in my room tour video, and it just looks awesome. I'm happy, you know. It's cool that I have a place that it interacts with other figures and just has its own little environment. Do different like shots and photos in here and just, I don't know, just be creative with your stuff and have some fun, because at the end of the day that's what it's all about. Here's just a view from even further back, and you can see I've got another docking bay above it with the Republic gunship, Clone Wars. I might move that to a different shelf and actually turn this into my Mandalorian display, because we have a lot of those figures coming up. Death Watch and stuff like that. We have my Jabba's palace down there for the moment. Still a lot of work to do with my displays and setting up, but the crest was very important, so really had to get this one done. I hope you've enjoyed this video, seeing how I display my Razor Crest. I hope it gives you ideas on different ways to display yours, but also inspire some creative world building for your collection. What are some ways you plan to display your Razor Crest? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. And don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps and is greatly appreciated. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you on the next video.